Hey everybody, I hope you can see and hear me. I'd love to see it on the chat. Let me know if you can see and hear me. It's very important to see that. Good evening, everybody. Love you all. And of course, we're going to talk Got
It's very
Backup
important to
tonight.
see that. Good evening, everybody.
Okay.
Love you all. And of course, we're going to talk Got Backup tonight.
Uh-oh.
Good evening, everybody. Love you all. And of course, we're going to talk Got Backup tonight.
Uh-oh. I have too many copies up. Sorry about that. I found them. Anyway, I hope everybody's having an awesome night. We're going to go ahead and talk Got Backup. And of course, we're going to want every one of your questions so that I can answer them. First thing I always like to do is go ahead and share my screen and get in the back office and talk about where everything is. And then if I don't answer your question through that uh, my tour of the back office, then make sure that the questions end up in the chat there so that I can answer them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get on over to the Got Backup back office. As you can see right now, we're on the welcome screen of back office of Got Backup. And I want you to notice on the welcome screen, they changed some of the things. They've got it just about as nice as they can and easy as they can. And the reason why we did it this way is to make this as simple as it is possible to make it. A lot of the things you're going to want to get to are actually in these three buttons right here underneath. I'm going to bring you over there to what these are first off before I go down the left side. So the first one here is called the dashboard, which actually brings you to where you want to get started in our program. You might notice right here are all of the download and the installation videos. And also notice something, the Google Play button, which is good to know that it's there. You only want to access it, of course, from either a tablet or a phone, but this is for Android. Now, you might be like me and actually be a crossover. I have Windows on my machine, but I have an iPhone. So you'll notice that you have to come over here to get to the iPhone. That's also where you're going to find your installation videos. And I do recommend that you actually watch those because they're excellent. They do explain very easily how to get started and what's important to know because you do want to get your installation in there correct. And also notice that there's an auto login button here. And what that is for is you can actually access your files that you have, whether they go in by sync or by manual upload, you can access it all from here. Okay. So I'm going to come back here. The second button across here is the promotion tools. You'll also notice that all of that stuff is over here as well. The promotional tools is the same as the reseller tools, okay? So let's not get confused. And so if you use the tool, that will go to the dashboard tab. So these are just shortcuts to the same place you're going to find over here on the left, okay? So this last one is the compensation, which I think is quite thorough. There's two videos and also a PDF for each. The first one is about how the compensation works in regard to anybody you directly refer and anybody that is referred by the people you refer. That's what the matching check is about. So watch both of these videos. They're excellent. They do explain in detail how to get paid and what's important, okay? So I'm going to come on back here. I'm going to close those out so that I don't get confused where I'm at. So we have got backup right here, and everything is right here in front of you. You don't really have to worry about where things are. It's all here. And like I said, the first thing to remember is get yourself started by getting the download that is correct for the system you have. If you're a Macintosh user, of course, you're going to download the Macintosh. If you're a Windows user like me, then you're going to download the Windows version. It's a very good idea to actually close down your antivirus, and you can find it generally right here. Now, mine is right here, okay? If you have something else, it will look different, but it will generally be here in the tray. And the way you turn that off is you just simply go in there and you can usually it says exit, or sometimes you have to open to get to it. But whatever it says, go ahead and just temporarily have your virus protection turned off, because you can always do a restart after you've done your installation. And that helps you make sure that your installation is clean. That's very important to do, okay? So then we're back here in the front, and then I want you to notice the next tab down is our reseller tools. I'm going to click there next. And this is where all of the stuff is to advertise our program. I want you to also notice that under each of these pages are 3 buttons. In other words, we used to have to do a click here first and then it would open everything up. Now you don't have to do that. As you can see, the link is right here. Now this is of course a demo account, so it's not a real account in the sense that it has no real information except for my email, just so that I have the demo. But other than that, there's nothing in here. I don't have any prospects. I don't have any leads. This is all a demo account. But there's 3 buttons under here for each of these pages, and that's important to know. When you want to get the link, you just click this and it copies it for you, okay? When you want to make a tracking link, it actually lets you do that by simply doing that. And what this is good for is, for instance, if you're going to do some paid advertising, like various different things, buying clicks and such, then you would just put something in here. What I would recommend is put a date when your advertising is starting, so that you can keep track of how many clicks you get on that link. It helps you track what's going on, okay? So I'm going to go back, and we're going to go back into the reseller link again. The next thing on here is the banners. First off, though, if you didn't know this already, if you want to recommend these live webinars, and this link works for all of the webinars, you simply copy this promo link. It's a very important thing to do. We do this on purpose to help promote this for all of the team members in Got Backup. We want you to be successful, and so that's why we do this. The next link over here is the banners. In the banners, you simply would just come over here and click, and you copy the code, and you put it in specific places where they allow banners. I don't use them a lot, but I do use them in some places. For instance, I use them on my blog. I'm going to go ahead and actually open up my blog real fast to show you what I mean. So this is my blog, and just finished getting this updated. And one thing I wanted to show you is I do use that banner for the Got Backup. This banner is ready to go to help me share this product with other people. So it's really simple. You just simply find the right size to fit where you want it to go. For instance, I used one that was probably about this length, and used one like that, one of these here, one of the ones that are long and narrow. And then the next one over here is advertising copy. What these are is so that you can send an email or modify this to make a blog post or some other content that you want to use it for. When you want to use one of these, you simply just copy. And that's also the case with the pre-enrollee. And the social media is just big banners that you can use in Facebook. I'm not going to click over there for the moment because what I want to show you next is this link right here called the lead capture system. And it's very, very important that you understand this. Many of the companies I've been involved with in the past have often made you hook up with another program, a third-party program called an autoresponder. But we have one built in right here. And this is powerful. You don't have to pay anything extra for this. It's all right here. So let's just say I already copied that email. Let's say I actually want to send it out to my leads. All I would have to do is come over here to where it says send broadcast. And I would simply choose one of these, which I did just now. You notice it's in there. And guess what you do next? You simply go ahead and paste what you just copied. Now, sometimes it might copy a little weird in there. You could take out the extra space, but this email is already in place. Okay? And I took out the salutation because it has a different one. Wanted to make sure I didn't have a double of that. Now, there's a few things you got to change that is important to make this personal, okay? For instance, it has this really goofy guy's face. That's not my face, so I would want to change that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click him. And notice here's where you can actually insert an image. And because I clicked it, I'm going to replace that picture. I'm going to upload my picture of myself. Got to make sure I'm in the right place to get it. Let's see, here's my picture right here. Now, one thing that's important though is you want to make sure it's not too big. So I'm going to make this 200, and then I'm going to hit my tab button and it's going to reshape both sides. And I'm going to go ahead and say okay. So let's go down and see what we did here. So now my picture is in here, not that goofy guy. And then, of course, things like this, right? You don't want your name, you want your personal name, whatever it is, right? So you want to go ahead and retype over that so that you have your name in there. There's only one last thing you might want to change. You only need one icon down here. Don't make it too confusing, but your Facebook profile is a really good way to get people to actually find you. And I'm going to actually jump over and grab my link real quick. And again, you need to select it like I did with that picture. Click the picture, and then I'm going to upload. No, actually, this time, sorry about that. This time we're going to click this chain. This is to remove a link. This is to add a link. And I have that picture selected, right? So I'm going to actually put that in here. And in the title, because that will show up when they hover over that link, I'm going to put in my name. And keep it simple. You don't have to worry about any of the other information there. But now this is clickable to my Facebook profile. That's pretty much it. And then, of course, make sure, and I sometimes forget this when I'm doing demos, make sure you have a subject line. Okay, so I'm just putting something in there so that it's there. Okay, now this is ready to go into our queue. Oh, got to make sure and put people in the list. They got to be on this side. So now this is ready to go. Let's go ahead and add that. And when we add that, it's going to show up in our list, okay? So now this needs one more thing to make this go, and that is you need to click the queue. Otherwise, it will stay in a pending state and it won't go. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and that's going to make this go. But there's no leads in here, so it's not actually going to go, but that is how you would go about doing it. Okay, so now I'm going to come back here. We've gone through all of this. Now the last things we need to go through is the My Business tab. And there's a few things here worth looking at. Remember, we already went to the compensation plan page. We don't need to do it again. Okay, so we're going to just overview that. The next one down is the commission overview. And this just gives you a big overview of what is happening. Of course, again, this is a demo account, so it's not going to show any real money, but this is what's going to show. It's going to start from the month you started in the company and go from there. The next one is my commissions. Now, this will be real-time commissions as they happen. But remember that everybody has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So because of that, even though you see maybe $50 today and $20 tomorrow, that's not really going to come into your real personal commissions until 30 days later, okay? So just keep that in mind because we want people actually to have their 30 days. Because let me tell you, if they don't do that and they pay you instantly, if that person decides they want their money back, then they would actually have to take it back out of your commissions. But because they do it this way, they almost never have to take it back out of your commissions, which is really cool. And then the next tab down is your payment options. They just put this in here recently, and I think it's pretty cool. You choose one of these, fill out a free account, and then make sure that it's set up properly, and then they will already be set up to pay you when you start getting commissions. In this payout history tab, that's where it's really going to show up when you truly start getting paid every Friday with a 4-week delay. Remember that, a 4-week delay, and then you start get paid every Friday based on your actual commissions and what has happened in your company, depending on how many people have become one of your personal referrals. And then there is a tab called My Downline. And on the My Downline, make sure and read all of this right here, very important. Now, of course, again, you have to understand this is just a demo account, so there's nothing in here. So we did this on purpose, so there's no chance that somebody's personal information would get exposed. But in your real account, there's 3 things that are going to appear under here at different times. There will always be a tab immediately underneath here that is your sponsor. And if you don't have a sponsor, that means you may have been sponsored directly by the company, and that's okay too. The next thing that usually shows up is the holding tank, but it'll only be there on Thursday mornings after that cutoff that we have every Wednesday night until midnight. Then the one on the very bottom is going to be your personal power line, which means people that have actually joined by your link. And you're not going to see the company power line, but you are going to see your personal power line, which is people you've referred. So I hope that makes sense to you. And then the next tab after that is my direct affiliates. And what I like about this is this kind of breaks it down even more about the people that have joined you. Sometimes they are a reseller, sometimes they're a customer, Sometimes they don't finish the process and then they end up in the cart abandoned. And if they're on a trial, they might show up in the free. But if you want to see everything, all you have to do is click this one right here and it'll show up everybody. And another thing it really shows it's cool is what link they signed up on. Of course, most of the time it's going to be our tour link, but if you've used a different link, it's going to show up right here. And it's going to show up based on when they signed up. If it was 30 days ago, then they're going to show up 30 days ago. Or you can do a special search to check. And that is really cool. Then the next link down here is our live webinars. Of course, you can see me at the top because I'm doing today. And then, of course, our Wednesday cutoff day, Thursday, Jerry does Facebook advertising. And then on Friday mornings, we have recognition recruiting webinar, and Joel and Mike do those two things. And then the webinar replays are just two of the webinars that they've done in the past that they feel like are really helpful to you. So you can check those out. And I'm trying to petition for them to put our YouTube channel in here, but we'll see what happens. Now there's two leaderboards. This first leaderboard is the whole company leaderboard. And if you want to know where I'm at, you can actually click right here. And right now I'm landing at number 30. I actually was 748, I think it was, and I came up to 30. I'm presently an emerald in the company. Then we have a tab here for business cards. This is the top 100 of Got Backup itself. And that's pretty much our entire tour. So now I'm going to come back here into our company and check and see how we're doing, if there's any questions. And please let me know if you got questions. So I'm looking to see. Sometimes it's small if you're on a small screen. I can't do anything about that. I don't see any questions, but please let me know if you've got some questions, because that's what I'm here for, is to make sure that you understand this product. It's not difficult. It is easy, and I think it is. I put one in. Did I see it? You see it. Corky, I'll look. Sometimes I can see it. There's a lot of activity in here, so I don't always. Let's see, where are you? Corky, would you rewrite it, please, so that I won't miss your question? And also to make sure that you know how to start. If you're not a paid member yet, you would use this link right here, and you are going to be cookie to whoever sponsored you. Okay, and Richard says, what is a power line exactly? Basically, a power line is your own personal people that have been sponsored from your link, okay? That's just a fancy word for your own personal sponsored people, okay? And Chris asks, how do we add a family member to our account? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Yes, that's a good question. Let's do that. So let me come back here to our tools, and I need to use the tool to show you how to do that. You might notice right here, not only do we have our download and upload links, but we have add an additional account right here, okay? And this is all you would do is fill in their name, give them a username and a new password, not the same one that you're using, and their email. Make sure it's an email they want to use. And if you don't know what it is, ask them. And then you would fill this in and then add them. And that's simply all you'd have to do. Make sure your password is a strong password so that it will let you use it. Sometimes it won't go if it's a real weak password, okay? And they say it needs to be at least 10 characters long. Okay, and that's simply all you do. Put in their name, put in a username for them, a password, and an email, and then they have the option of actually changing the password to make it more secure, and that's good. You should make sure they know that they have a separate space where they're going to be able to upload their stuff, and it's not going to mix in with what you have. Okay, that's very important to know. All right, great question. All right. When I signed up, I got an email that said I had 13 people under me. Where did those people come from? It actually means that there are 13 people that could be in your team, but the company is putting them in, and it depends on when they do the cutoff and they put people in, they go in the highest open spot. And so that is where they end up, not necessarily under you, depending. But if you have an active person that is in your team above you, they can often be putting stuff in for you. I often see, I have a pretty active upline and they're always putting people in. Yes, Brian, we are always recording. This is automatically recorded in YouTube. So simply come back here to the very same YouTube channel and you'll see it in there. Any other questions? I didn't see yours, Corky. I can see this, but what is the question? Okay. I don't see a question. So just give me a new question, please. Okay. Anybody else that has a question? Yes, Julia, we are recording as we speak. So I put one in. Did you see it? Okay. I put one in. But you put what in, Corky? I don't see anything else. This is a big bunch of people, so if you did it real early while I was on the thing, that's why I'm having a hard time seeing it. I'm going clear back to the beginning, and I don't see your question. So, okay, here we go. Now I see it. I backed up my phone. Can I see my phone backed up in my laptop at the same time? Yes, all you have to do is let me go back and show you again. I'll go into our Got Backup. If you auto log in from here, from where your system is, and you go in here, of course, there's no files in this demo account, but then you would see it in here. Depending on what you named it, you'd see it under the the folder called Files. Right now, there's nothing here, but if I go over here to Mine, I can show you mine real quick. And of course, I'm using mine pretty heavily. I have my phone in an auto sync, and I'll show you where that is. So here is my files, and my iPhone is right here. This is all of my iPhone files, and everything is here. I don't take a huge amount of pictures, but everything that I've uploaded is in here. And that's where you would see it. Whatever you named your iPhone folder, make sure that you're doing it the way it's suggested to do it. And remember, I showed you watch the videos, depending on whether you are watching, whether you're an iPhone user or an Android user. Let's just show you on the iPhone, since that's what I have. Here is your installation for the iPhone, and you'd see the same thing on the other one as well. If I had an Android, and some of you have an Android, you'd simply come down here to the videos that are for the Android and watch those. Make sure and follow that, because when I first did it, I didn't do it right and I needed to redo it. And it is helpful to pay attention. So watch these videos. They are worth taking the time to do that. Okay? All right. I think I'm up there. Is there an easy way to copy everything from Dropbox to Got Backup? Right now, we don't have a tab for that. I do believe they're working on a way to transfer it over directly from Dropbox, but probably the best possible way is to download out of Dropbox and then upload into Got Backup. And you can do that either in a sync or a manual upload. Let me go and show you what I mean by a manual upload. Oh, I don't want to be there. Okay, so I'm in here. Let's close this. So I'm going to go into the auto login. If I want something to be uploaded immediately without waiting, and I have done this because sometimes it's urgent that it's all in place. First off, if you want it to be organized, it's a really good idea to make a folder. I'm just doing this so that you can see what it's going to look like. And then this folder, I'm going to upload some pictures to it. So you just upload files and then choose some pictures. And I'm going to just go to my picture file. I've got a few things in here. And I'm just going to pick a few things and open those up. So now it's going to upload those pictures. And it does it super fast, which is really nice. As you can see now, I have my pictures in there. I've been saving pictures out of some of my videos. So I hope that makes sense to you. Okay. Where do you go to see the recorded videos? The videos we're doing anytime in YouTube, if you come right back here, even a few minutes after, into the channel itself, you'll see replays, okay? We're in the live tab, okay? All of our videos are in the live tab. And yes, it's stored in the same video channel you're in right now. Okay, this is a good question. Can I copy all of my computer to the cloud in one shot? Well, if you want to, you can. If you want it all in one file, you can. I organized mine a little bit more than that, but you can do it exactly like what I just showed you. You can do a manual upload and then just tell it to upload. If you got a huge amount of stuff, though, do it in a smaller amount, not all at once, because it could take kind of bog down your computer. But yeah, you can do it that way. If you want it to go into a sync, you can do it that way also. Okay, I use Carbonite. Yeah, do I need to continue with Carbonite? No, you do not really. We have a 6T of space in our Got Backup, which is a lot of space. I'll tell you what, I've got a lot of stuff. I got more stuff than I bet every bit of all the rest of you. And yet I'm only using less than 2 terabytes of space. And I am going to invite my daughter to use some of the space because it's a lot of space. So you don't necessarily have to. Just get the backup started. And then when you feel comfortable that your backup is in the cloud, then close down Carbonite. You don't have to do it all at once because it will take a couple of days probably to get all of your backup in there. And it depends on whether you want it to sync or whether you're going to do a manual. You can do it either way. Some of the templates are in Spanish. Chuck, I don't know of anything that's in Spanish automatically, but let me go and show you something that you may not know this. In our program, there is a Google Translate. You can change this language to anything you want it to be, and that means it will change all of the wording of the page. If you're in like the reseller tab, and you want to change your pages, say I want to change them to Spanish, you simply come down here and find Spanish. Here's Spanish. And notice it changed. Everything changed. And if I copy this, okay, that didn't change. So they may not have changed all the pages. I know they're working on it, but they did change the actual, the way it looks. Depending on who you are and what you are comfortable with. I know they're working on building pages and videos in Spanish, French, and several other languages. I don't know all the different ones they're working on. So can I upload my pictures at the same time from my phone? I have 60K. Yes, what is recommended is get it set up from your phone to sync, and then make sure that you're connected to a very reliable internet course connection, like maybe be at home, and also plug into your charger so that your phone will not be interrupted, and then go ahead and let it do it. Leave it going like maybe overnight, because it will take a little bit of time for that many pictures to actually upload. You know, you got to understand upload timing, and depending on your internet speed also will make a difference. But yes, absolutely. Just make sure you're plugged into to your charger, and that your internet connection is very clear and clean, and it should work really well. Mine only took a few minutes actually to do that. It didn't, but I don't have as many pictures as you do. That's a lot of pictures. I had someone who couldn't download a folder of videos. What did I do wrong? Who couldn't download a folder of videos? Um, if you have a whole folder of videos, that may be just way too much information for that person to try to download. Try sharing one at a time instead of a whole folder of videos. That is huge. Just think about how big that folder must be if their system can't handle it. So that's what I suggest, is do it one at a time. Don't try to get them to take a whole folder of a really large amount of information. Yes, thank you, Karina. You edit your templates to what you want them to be. That's true. Are you talking about the ones in the emails? That's probably. Oh, and Regenerate says, Regeneration Zone says that he would help you with Spanish if you need help, and that's wonderful. Thank you. That we do have Spanish speakers in this group that are really good, and they would be willing to help you. I'm glad you're happy, Debbie. I'm glad I answered your question. Okay. Once a family member is added, do we send them a link? Yes, you just let them know the information, like the username and password that you created for them, so that they can go ahead and get in, because they would not get into your personal account. They're going to get into the one you created for them, okay? So that's important to know. All right. Good questions here. After watching the training video and setting up my cloud, I got a red screen stating that there was an error. Okay, it depends on what the error is. If it's something that you can't figure out, the best thing to do is to go through support and ask them, because sometimes I don't even know what error you got, because you're not really saying. But a lot of the time it has to do with just maybe one of your settings needing to be checked on. So go and check on that with support. Ask them about it, and be specific on the question. Uh, an error message could mean about 50 different things, okay? Go ahead and change make sure your language is English, Chuck, because that is not the truth with mine. So you might have confused the system by choosing Spanish. And if that stays that way, check with support and ask them, okay? Because none of my templates are in Spanish. Okay, good questions. Any other questions you need answered, please let me know. Good questions. And then also, again, thank you, Jerry. Yes, that's where you would go to the replays of all of our videos, including all the ones that have been done by others besides myself. If you are brand new, make sure you sign up. This is a generic link, but it will, I told you where the sponsor is. You'll find that on the My Download tab. My Download tab, okay? My Downline tab, I mean, okay? I'll go in real quick and make sure you know where I mean. It's on this full line right here. And this is, again, a demo account, so it doesn't show it in here, but that's where it would be. It would be right down here. Okay. Once a family member is added, what link do we send them? Can you walk us through that? Okay, I will. So I'm going to go ahead and come back up here and create a fake one. So I need to be back in Got Backup and use the tool. And I'm going to make a test thing here, okay? Okay, we're going to add a new user. And we're going to give that person a username. And we're going to give it a new password. Make sure it has 10 characters at least, okay? We need to have an email in here that is their email. This is mine, but it would need to be their email, okay? And then you simply add that user like this, okay? You want to make sure that you know what you put in here for the password. And once you've done that, you give that information to that person, okay? And it's holding too long. We don't need to sit and watch that, but that is basically all you have to do, okay? Pretty simple. And then, like I said, make sure you've written down or put in a text file or something all the information that you typed up, because you want to make sure that you give them the correct information. Otherwise, they would not be able to log in, right? What does read mean when sharing videos? I don't understand your question. When we are in here, see this says, got it? See, now it made a new account, okay? Right here. And all you would have to do is give them this information. Obviously, this is a fake. It's not really an account, but this is all you would do. You'd give them this information right here so that they would know how to log in. Then you make sure they know they have to go to gotbackup.com and they would log in from there, okay? Simple as that. But I created this. And if for whatever reason that person should not be there anymore, if they abuse it or they decide they don't want to use it or whatever, you simply can just say delete and they're no longer there. Pretty simple, pretty easy. The download system would be r.backup.com. It'd be this. That takes them to the login, right? There's a login on the top of the page, and they have to have the information you gave them. Okay? ACRAL. Those are written instructions. Okay. Thank you, Russ. I didn't quite understand what he was saying there, so that's good to let me know that. All right. Any other questions that you need answered, please let me know. Everybody good? You comfortable with where we're at? Understand everything now? Let me know. Last call. I'm going to be doing the actual back office videos. I'm in negotiation now, working on that. I don't understand your question. When I go, let's say I'm going to go back here to mine. When I come in here, I need to see this as a normal. This doesn't say read. This is share, okay? There's no read in here. I don't know what you're talking about. When I want to create a link, I simply click the button right here, and that lets me share that video, that picture. And I can put that right back in here for you. Thank you, Regeneration. That is an actual share link I created for a picture that I own. They get the username. They get the username you've created, okay? I showed you how to create the new account. They have to have that username. It has to be an email they already use, not your email, but their email, okay? And a password. They need to have those 3 things in order to get inside their account. Make sure you give them the correct information so they can get into that account. Okay, great, Karina. I'm not serving tonight. You'll have to go get your own. All right, everybody's cool? Everybody happy? Any other questions? You're so welcome, Russ. I appreciate it very, very much. I'm glad to see all of you out. I love I love having all the. Okay, good. I think this is answering. Okay, thank you, Stu. That's explaining the question that Chris had. Okay. I think it was Chris. You guys have a good evening. I'm happy you came, and I'll keep you posted on doing the videos. That'll probably take a few weeks to get those all completely done, and good ones, because we need the best possible ones we can. How do I back up from a Chromebook? The same way we all do. I think that Chromebooks have applications. Do they come from Android, maybe? I don't know very much about Chromebook. I don't have one. If it's an Android, you'd go to the Android apps, okay? I'm pretty sure that's what you're asking. You'd go to the Android apps. Read, allow, upload, file drop, upload only. What does read mean? I don't know. It means somebody just answered your question. Okay, I have another question. One last thing, but how do they sign in and they get the link, the username, the email, and what do they use to sign in. They go to the www.gotbackup.com. Okay? Gotbackup.com gets them to the page. Okay? Thank you. Actually, the piano is a background that the system gives me. It's not my real living room. My real background is not real clean and neat, so I like using this. There you go. You guys are great. I appreciate it. And I think somebody already answered this. Here's the answer. Computers work on read write. Read is usually what a program is doing while it's copying the files. Okay? So it's copying your file because you asked it to download or upload. All right? And as far as Chromebook goes, if it is, I think it actually works on Android. And if it does, then you need to go to the Play Store, okay? That's what I believe happens with Chromebook. But I could be wrong because I don't have one. But anyway, that's good. Anybody else? Here is the answer, Chris, to your question. They would use the username and password that you just created, okay? Just how you log in, only you're giving them a different login because they're not going to see your files. They're only going to see their own, whatever they upload, okay? They have a private account just like you do, and that's very important. We really believe in lots of I just showed you. They have a username and they put the username in and the password in that you have created for them. Okay? Just as the way you log in is the way they would log in, only they'd use their own stuff. Yes, it would need to be their email so that they get the information because it's their personal account. Okay? Why would you give them your email so that they would not have control over their account? Of course, you'd give them your email. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Go ahead and play with it. The easiest way to get a better understanding of something is to go do it. Even if it doesn't work at first, it's better to go do it and then you get a better understanding. Pretty cool. I mean, really, that's how everything works in the world, right? The more you use it, the better it becomes and the easier it becomes. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, let's see. If we have questions on using Got Backup, do we go to you? The reason why I'm here is to answer the questions. If you don't see, if unless it's something about support that's not something I can show you, I show you the back office. I show you how to get started. If there's anything that you don't understand, then go ahead and do that. But we're going to have videos on every page if they're not already there right now. Plus, I answer your questions every Monday night. If there's anything that I haven't answered that you need answered now, please let me know before we close this down. Okay, Rita? Very important. So ask me your question. If it's something I can answer, I will answer it. That's what this is all about. So I'll give you a few seconds here to see if you're going to ask a question. Okay? Thank you, Stu. You're welcome. Any other questions before we close this down? Looking good here. Looking like everybody's pretty happy. Rita, did you still want to ask a question or are you satisfied you understand? I forget my questions by Monday night. That's too bad. You know what? Another thing, you can always go back to our replays because a lot of the time we get really good questions every single week. And if there's something that somebody asked, I'm going to answer it. And you could get your question answered just by watching one of the replays. So, it's worth it to do a little investigation. Yeah, absolutely. David's right. If you are in our Facebook group, and let me go grab that link real quick. If you are in our Facebook group, you will get somebody to answer the question, and it's a good idea to do that. So, if you're not presently in that group right now, please go ahead and get in there and ask whatever you need help with. Okay? The facts, our videos, we've got lots of help all through. It depends, David, on what the support problem is. They're really trying to get you to come here or to the group for everything that's non-support related, okay? If it's just how-to kind of stuff, ask in the group, okay? Okay, absolutely, Rita. That's awesome. If you still want a question answered, I haven't closed down. You can ask if you want. Okay. If not, I also put in the Facebook group. Make sure you're in our Facebook group, okay? It's in this chat right now. I just put it in. Make sure you're in there because you can get a lot of help from there. Not a problem, David? I'm not worried about typos. I do too. I'm really good at typos. I do typos all day long. So I think everybody's in pretty good shape. Rita, if you do want to, make sure and get in that group. That will help you a lot. Thank you, Bob. I actually learned everything I know from videos. If that doesn't help you, I typo police. I hope not. Anyway, you guys have a great evening. I'll see you again on Monday. You guys have a great evening. No, it's for people that are pre-enrollees and up, okay? Be careful that you put prospects in only if they really understand they're getting put in a group for Got Backup. Because sometimes people get put in a group and they don't have a clue why they're there. So be really careful on that part. But I would prefer, I think we really want them to at least be pre-enrollees so they understand why they're there, that they're just trying to find out more about our company, about Got Backup. So that's a good question, though. Any other questions? I keep on starting to close down and then I get a new question. But thanks, there's a lot of new faces, I think, tonight. That's great. I like it when we see a lot of new people. Welcome to all the new people. We are growing like crazy every single week. It's amazing. And lots of people are making money. We have now gone over 100 different places in the world where Got Backup is, and I just saw that mainland China is now in it. There's somebody that joined from mainland China. I think that's amazing if you think about it. A place where you wouldn't even think that people could join, but they can because they have internet. Isn't that amazing? You're welcome, Monique. I'm glad you came. You guys have an awesome night. Yes, thank you, thank you. I'm going to call it a night then. You guys have an awesome night, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye.